Hi, my name is Roland from PMI JCM Realty Group, where we manage properties from an asset management perspective. I'm also the rental property investment Zen master. And so today, what I want to talk to you about are what to ask a property manager before partnering with one. Now, there are a lot of choices in property management companies. And, in the state of Florida, if you want to do property management right, you have to have a real estate license. So every property management company or every property manager has to be a licensed real estate agent to be a property manager in the state of Florida. So I think that's one of the first questions that you should ask, and you can add that as a bonus. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about 5 or 6 different other questions that you need to ask your property manager before you end up partnering with them. And so the first question that you want to ask is, what type of properties are you currently managing? You want to make sure that there is a portfolio match with the type of properties that you need managed. If someone is focused on doing commercial strictly and you ask them to do a long-term rental, they may have the overall idea of how to do it, but there may be a bit of a learning curve, or they may not have the right systems in place to manage your property appropriately. So make sure that they have an understanding of your particular portfolio, what the type of properties and the type of tenants that you have, so that they can better service you. Now, even within the long-term rental space, you have multifamily buildings, you have single-family homes, and you even have lower income properties as well. All of those are different tiers, and you need to make sure that whoever you work with can handle those different tiers if you want them to have that broad of a spectrum. For me personally, I don't manage properties anything less than $1,500, and I don't manage mobile homes. And so those types of properties I typically I refer out, but those are the types of things you need to get a good sense of when you're planning to partner with a rental property, or when you're trying to partner with a property management company. And the next question you need to ask, what rental property management services do you offer? Now, for us as a property management company, we manage properties from an asset management perspective. And so we dive way deeper than most other property management companies. And so why this is important is some property management companies, I know some that manage properties for $100, per month, a flat fee, right? For those types of property management companies, chances are all they're doing is collecting the rent for you, or they're doing one service, right? When you're dealing with a property management company that offers a plethora of service, if they start guaranteeing the rent and things like that, you're going to expect, you know, the cost to be a little bit more. So you want to make sure you understand the services that the property management companies offer, and make sure that's aligned with what you're looking for your portfolio. Just remember, the less headache you have and the less touch you want to have with the property, the more you're probably going to pay for those property management services, and you're probably going to get a better return on your investment as well. How are your fees structured? We just talked about that a little bit, right? When we said that, the more services they offer you, the more it's probably going to cost you. But in a very broad sense, you can expect property management services to cost anywhere from 8 to 10% monthly for the monthly management fee. And the leasing fee can be anywhere from a half month's rent to a whole month's rent. Now, there are some property management companies that charge a quarter of a month's rent to lease the property. There's some property management companies that charge, 5%, and there's some that charge a flat fee. It just depends on the property management company that you're working with, but making sure you understand, what they do, how they do it, is definitely going to help you understand how to move forward with them when it comes to how they structure their fees. Next is, um, what is your lease renewal and rent collection rate? And so you want to have a property manager that is good at keeping their tenants. If tenants keep moving out in droves, or if tenants don't renew their lease, then there may be a problem with that property management company in terms of the level of service that they're offering. Because generally speaking, if the tenants have a good service and the property management rates or the rental rates is within market rates, they're not going to want to move, because moving is a pain in the neck, right? And so people don't typically want to move unless they have to. And so you want to make sure that the renewal rates are as high as possible. They say above 80%. You want it to be as close to 100% as possible, but no one has a 100% renewal rate, right? Especially over time, right? So it depends, what time frame we're talking about, whether it's 1 year, 3 years, 5 years. In my estimation, you should be able to have a tenant in the property anywhere from 3 to 5 years. That's pretty standard to average. If a tenant keeps moving every year, there might be a problem with that tenant. You should be able to find that out before the tenant even moves in, when you're doing your due diligence on them, right? And then what is the rent collection rate? Ideally, you want 100%, but I can tell you that's typically not the case. There are things that happen and people, go through issues. And so, but you want to have it at over 80% or maybe at least 90, something like that, for a good rent collection rate. Next is, how often do you provide portfolio insights? Now, we do a quarterly market analysis to get a sense of how the property is performing. We actually get a report every month, so we know how each property is performing. That information can be readily shared with our owners, and also our owners can go into the portfolio or the portal to get access to that kind of information as well. But in essence, you need to have a property management company that's open and willing to share information with you. For me, I know a lot of our owners may be annoyed because everything that happens on the portfolio side gets emailed to them. And so sometimes they get notifications that may be a little bit scary or they don't know what's happening. But I'd rather them know upfront. So every time a lease is up for renewal, they get a notification. Every time a tenant pays their rent, they get a notification. Every time a tenant, puts a notice to move out, they get a notification. Every time a tenant puts a service request in, they put a notification. That's information, that's visibility to them. They don't have to do anything because I'll handle it on this end. But at least I know that information was sent out to them and they've been aware of it. They are aware of it, whether they decide to do something about it or not. And so before you make any official property management partnership decisions for 2023, call us at PMI JCM Realty Group. Our team of experts always manages your properties through an asset management lens, ensuring portfolio success. It's the only call you need to make. At PMI JCM Realty Group, our team is always looking to share information and insights with the Tampa Bay area. As such, we have a webinar that we're going to be doing on how to streamline your rental property portfolio for maximum growth. It is a webinar that you don't want to miss. Not only are we going to talk about this topic, but we're going to show you how to guarantee the rent if the tenant doesn't pay, how to show the property without you having to leave your home or office. It's a great deal of information. There's a lot that you don't want to miss. Then we also have our Facebook group that we have available to everyone. And that's where you can go connect with other investors, like-minded individuals that can help you get insights into questions that you have about your portfolio. And of course, if you have any detailed questions specific about your portfolio that you want to talk to me directly, you can reach out to me with rcharles@pmijcmrealty.com on email. You can also call me at 813-333-9617. And you can also put a meeting on my calendar with the link in this article. Thank you and have a great day.